8 long years, and it is after 8 long years that the FSSAI, after efforts put in by Dr. Sivaranjini Santhosh here with us, joining us, has come about with a directive to stop the labeling of ORS on products. Now, why is this important? How did this come across? To walk us through it all, we're being joined by Dr. Santhosh here. She's a pediatrician based in Hyderabad, and she's been in the profession and in the business for, of course, decades at this point, and been especially in this battle towards the removal of this misleading label with respect to all of these medicinal products for the last 8 years. Thank you for speaking to NDTV, Doctor.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
Dr. Santosh, first off, please tell us, why is it misleading if products have this ORS label on them?
ORS is a life-saving solution. It is the 20th century wonder drug. Like how you take medicines from the pharmacy for anything, ORS is also a medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is 20th century's wonder discovery. In fact, late Dr. Dilip Mahalanobis has got Padma Vibhushan Award for the same.
Right.
Okay, ORS needs to have a precise formula for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the glucose and sodium has to be in the right proportion to take the water along with them into the body from the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, using something called sodium glucose co-transporter. Any extra glucose or sugar can actually worsen the diarrhea.
Okay.
Okay, so in our country, where somebody who discovered ORS or who helped save millions of lives during the time when cholera was there all over. Okay, giving this ORS in this country, companies just for their business, knowing that they can't get permission from the drug controller for their formulation, because drug controller can give permission only if it's the real medicine ORS, that is the WHO recommended formula. Knowing that they won't get permission, they went to FSSAI with their high sugar drinks, with inappropriate amount of electrolytes, and got permission, okay, and labeled them as ORSL, rebalance with ORS, ORS fit, int ORS, glucon D active ORS. So, and they have invaded the pharmacies, the hospitals, and the schools. So whenever any parent goes and asks for ORS, these are the liquids that were being given to them. These are not liquids that are supposed to be labeled or misbranded as ORS, and these are not liquids that are supposed to be in the pharmacies or hospitals or schools. Not only these liquids, Himalaya Rehydrate, Electro Choice, Zincovit Active, there are many such liquids which are there prominently displayed in the pharmacies on the shelves, and actual WHO recommended formula ORS is not even shown because the profit margin is very less.
Yeah.
Okay, so and these liquids will worsen the diarrhea. So if I as a parent go to the pharmacy, say my child is dehydrated, I need to give ORS, and I get this liquid and it worsens my child's diarrhea, and I have to admit him or her in the hospital. He ends up staying in the hospital for 3 days. He becomes critically sick or he dies. Who is responsible?
So, Dr. Santhosh, essentially, these products were being marketed as ORS without actually having the formulation of ORS that should actually be prescribed by WHO, right?
So the companies will argue that they haven't marketed them as ORS. They will show in a very small disclaimer, micro mini disclaimer, ORSL people will show. The Kenvue company's Indian subsidiary JNTL. Kenvue is a spin-off from Johnson Johnson. They will show a micro mini disclaimer which you can only read with a hand lens. Do not give during diarrhea. That will be there behind. Okay, second thing is they will claim that they have never marketed it as the real ORS. But the label ORSL, and it is sitting in the pharmacies, it is sitting in the hospitals and everywhere. And when anybody goes, you get only this. Your family members also would have experienced it if you ask some people.
No,
Okay.
precisely. And it was important to understand from you right now that what is ORS actually and what is not. So, now tell us about the past 8 years. What was the journey like? Where all have you, gone to and spoken to in terms of be it authorities, be it pharmaceuticals? These are big giants we're talking about. So, how did this directive finally come about?
People's power. The directive came because of people's voice. Okay, so my battle is one side of it, but because people made sure it reached the right ears, it happened. Okay, so my observation that children were getting sicker, more sick, rather than improving after drinking the so-called ORS liquids.
Mm.
So that made me investigate into it. So when I asked parents to show me, they showed me the Apple Picture Tetra Pak. And when you turn it around, you see that it has 110 gram to 120 grams of sugar per liter. Whereas WHO recommended formula ORS should have 13.5 gram per liter. Where is 13.5 and where is 110?
Yeah.
Rebalance with ORS has 90 grams sugar. Where is 13.5 and where is 90? So all this extra sugar is no brainer. We know it for ages. Pediatricians, WHO, everybody is saying the same. This high sugar will worsen the diarrhea. So you have labeled your drink in such a way that people are going to believe it's ORS. Okay, and you kept it everywhere. And that has jeopardized the lives of so many children. So why will I keep quiet being a pediatrician? So I started raising awareness through my
Dr.
YouTube
Santosh,
channel.
yeah, tell us about, what all, authorities did you reach out to and
Yeah,
flag this
exactly.
issue
So
with?
at
Yeah.
first I didn't have the idea that I should reach to the drug controller. Then in 2021, I started writing to CDSCO.
Mm-hmm.
After to and fro communication, and I sent the Tetra packs to them, they said we didn't give permission. ORS is a drug, and this is not of. I mean, this is not ORS. We didn't give permission. FSSAI had given. You have to reach out to the FSSAI. So I reached out to the FSSAI again with proofs, with so much literature from WHO. And then finally, again, I had to write directly to the health minister's office. And then finally, on 8th April 2022, an order was issued that
Mm-hmm.
ORS should not be used on these labels. And unfortunately, and this should not have happened. First of all, it should not have taken so long. And then, secondly, it should not have happened. They have reverted that order. They said companies with valid trademark can continue selling these liquids with a disclaimer. This is not an ORS. So, in big font, you have ORS there, and in small font, this is not an ORS. How fair
Mm-hmm.
is that? And how many of you will read the disclaimers? Okay, it's our responsibility to read the disclaimer. Fair enough. How many Indians can actually read the disclaimer?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it angered me, it boiled my blood. I mean, it's criminal according to me. And today, so many parents, they're sharing their experiences. It brings tears to my eyes. Doctor, we didn't know we were giving ORSL and my child was admitted in ICU. I knew of those experiences. My doctors shared, but when parents are sharing, it's so painful. The pain the parent had to go through.
Now,
Why should
finally,
you
Dr.
check? You should
Santosh, we
just have
finally
him sick
have
up at home, get
uh,
hospitalized.
we finally have this directive that has come about with this sort of labeling not being allowed on these liquid orally taken products anymore. So finally, now that this directive has come about, what is your understanding of the directive?
See, this is the same directive they issued in April 2022. Only thing is that time they went back, but this time they won't go back because I am sure Prime Minister ji and Health Minister ji are aware of this now. And I don't think any leader will do anything that will jeopardize the health of children or people of our country.
Right, right.
But there is a hiccup here. Okay, in spite of so much happening, this JNTL, that is the Kenvue company or whatever, Johnson, these people have still dared to file a petition in the Delhi High Court requesting that they be heard by the FSSAI before implementing the order.
Hmm.
FSSAI shouldn't have consented to that. If FSSAI had not consented to that, then definitely Delhi High Court may not have given that stay also. Now, for the next few days, still FSSAI hears them out, still they'll try to dispose of their stock, which is worth 180 crores.
Right.
Okay, how fair is this? This is, huh? And FSSAI, it is its responsibility now. It created this mess. Now the onus is on FSSAI to hear them out as SAP and close this matter once for all.
Right.
Even if they change their label, these should not be allowed to be sold in the pharmacies or schools or hospitals. And without changing the label, they should not allow them to sell even in supermarkets. And not only these drinks, except WHO recommended formula ORS, nothing should be allowed in the pharmacies, irrespective of the label.
Right. Dr. Santosh, just, closing words right now. If you could tell us very briefly, what sort of formulation is a perfectly prescribed ORS, liquid to consume versus what is not? Basically, what chemicals are okay to be in it versus what are not okay to be in it?
Instead, I'll make it in a way that people who are listening to this, the parents who are listening to this, know what to give. Okay?
Mhm.
So, WHO, whenever you go, you want to buy ORS, see the label. It will be clearly written WHO recommended formula ORS. When you turn back the sachet back, it will be mentioned Indian Pharmacopoeia, IP, and there won't be any FSSAI emblem or whatever you call it, stamp. There will be only a registration number, and you will see that sodium is 75 milliequivalent per liter and dextrose is 75 milliequivalent per liter. If you see in grams, dextrose is 13.5 gram per liter. If you see the formula, but basic simple WHO recommended formula ORS should be written and
Right.
FSSAI stamp should not be there.
Hmm.
And in India, we have 4-gram sachets and 20-gram sachets. 4-gram sachet has to be dispersed in 200 ml water, 20-gram sachet in 1 liter water, and they can use it for 24 hours. In
Mhm.
dire situation where they don't have the sachets at home, they can prepare homemade ORS, but sachet is preferable. So half teaspoon means 5 ml, okay, half
Hmm.
teaspoon salt and 6 teaspoons of sugar in 1 liter water, or a pinch of salt and 1 teaspoon sugar in 200 ml water.
Hmm.
And if there is a situation where you can't use the sachets, you can't add it in water, then the next best option will be Tetra packs, where WHO recommended formula ORS is clearly written.
Written.
And
Right.
you have to understand that you can't just take a little pinch of powder and add a little amount of water. You have to read the label and strictly follow the instructions on the label. 4 gram in 200 ml and 20 gram in one
Right.
liter water.
Right. Right. Thank you so much for, very nicely clearing and clarifying all of these doubts for our viewers, Dr. Shivaranjani. Thank you for speaking to NDTV.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.